Hi there, my name is Dr. Katie Saint, and this video is about coping with stress. So all of us experience stress. To be human means you're going to be stressed out once in a while, so that's normal. But sometimes how we respond to stress makes things worse instead of better. And sometimes if our stress gets too overwhelming, it leads to really bad things. So the point of this video is to kind of go through how you respond to stress and if it's healthy or unhealthy, and to kind of talk about strategies that will hopefully help you respond to stress in a way that makes it better instead of worse. So I want to start with just identifying what stresses you out. Sometimes when we aren't aware of our stressors, we respond to them without thinking through if it's a good choice or a bad choice. And if we can identify, hey, every time I go to my grandma's house, I get really stressed out, then we can have some proactive strategies to help us cope. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video and journal or talk with a friend or whoever you're with about what are your major stressors. What sort of things happen that just really stress you out? It makes you anxious, it makes you feel overwhelmed, you just don't like it. What are those things for you? A lot of people get stressed out about social things or expectations, different scenarios, maybe a new thing you've never been exposed to. So go ahead and pause and talk that through. All right, welcome back. So the next thing I want to focus on is your response to stress. So sometimes when people are really stressed out, they withdraw. They shut down. Some people cry. Some people get angry. Some people are grumpy and rude to people. And some people use avoidance strategies. So I want you to take some time to think about, what do? What are some things that you do when you're stressed out? And do they help or do they hurt? So an example of something that would help if you're stressed out is if you would get into really hyper productive mode and you just started problem solving and tried to get things done. That might reduce your stress. Another thing that's a positive way to respond to stress is working out. Maybe if you're really stressed out, you go for a walk or you go for a run or jump on your trampoline. You know, those kinds of things are going to help you fight stress. Unless you're using working out as an avoidance strategy when really you should be facing your problems. Talking about stress is a really good strategy. So go ahead and analyze. Pause the video, talk with someone. Is your response to stress adding more stress into your life? Or is it helping? Is it making things better? Take some time to have some honest reflection on this. All right, next thing I want you to look at is perspective taking, okay? So think about your family members, think about the people that live with you. How would they say you cope with stress? Would they say, oh man, when she's stressed out, I steer clear. I don't want to be a part of it. Or would they say, you know, she gets stressed from time to time, but she tells me about it and I can support her and we work through it? You know, what would your family members say? Would they say that, like, it's really stressful for them when you're stressed and that it really hurts your relationship with them? Or would they say you handle it pretty well? If you don't know the answer to this question, it might be helpful to you to ask them this. If every time we get stressed out, we push people away, that's really going to hurt our relationships, and ultimately then we're going to end up being lonely and we're going to end up having people not support us. But if we can find a way to be honest with the people that we care about and let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm going through right now and it's really stressful for me. Here's how you can help. Or would you mind just listening to me vent about this? If we can tell our loved ones in a respectful way why we're stressed out, they're more likely to support us. But if we're really harsh and rude to them when we're stressed and we're like, leave me alone, or if we make rude comments or take out our stress on them, which a lot of people do, we treat our family worse than we treat the rest of the world sometimes. So if you're doing that, you're pushing your core relationships away, and these people could be a support to you rather than adding to your stress. So go ahead and take some time to reflect on that. How well are you communicating your stress to the people that you live with and care about? Are you pushing them away when you're stressed? Or are you communicating in a kind enough way that you're actually attracting them to you and they want to support and help you? Go ahead and pause the video, talk about that, and identify what you do that helps or hurts in that sort of situation. Okay, next thing I want to focus on is stressors that we can control versus stressors that we can't control. So sometimes when we are stressed out about things, the solution includes you. You get to help solve the problem. You have control over making that stressor go away. But sometimes our stressors, we don't have control over the solution. We can't solve it. And so our only option then is just to accept that it exists. When we can accept that it's a rainy day or that person is just going to be annoying, it stresses us out less. But when we're like, oh, that's so annoying, that's so frustrating, I just want it to stop, but I can't get it to stop and I'm going crazy trying. You know, we just amp ourselves up then. And usually we do a lot of relationship damage when we can't accept things that we can't control. So this is a really important concept to think about in your own life. What sort of things are stressing you out that you don't actually have control over? A lot of times that's people. What they say to you, how they feel about things, how they act. We can't control other people as much as we want to and as much as we try. So if we can get to a place where we can just accept that, sometimes that requires you saying inside your head, I can't control this, I'm just going to accept it. Sometimes I repeat that to myself just to get myself to let go. So this is a really important strategy to use so that you're not wasting your emotional energy on things that you don't have control over. Go ahead and pause the video and think about what sort of stressors do you have going on in your life that you have control over, that you should do something to solve it, and what sort of things do you have no control over in your life that you need to just accept and let go. Okay, go ahead and pause and think about that concept. All right, so the last thing that I want to focus on in this video is committed action. So what I mean by that is we all experience stress and we all respond in good ways and we all respond in bad ways. So I want you to make a list for yourself of 3 different things that you can do that are going to help your relationships and are going to help your stress. So there are things that we do that makes things worse, and there are things that we do that make things better. So we need to come up with healthy strategies like calmly and respectfully telling our loved ones about our stress, working out, doing a hobby, deep breathing exercises, journaling. You know, what sort of things are you doing? What are you willing to do to help decrease your stress and build those relationships? What sort of stressors do you need to just accept that they are just a part of life and you don't have control over that? So go ahead and end this video and write your list. If you need help with it, reach out to someone who you trust their advice and go ahead and see if you can come up with 3 things that are going to help you.